So, Dad, from all the loan players so far, we agree on all of them apart from Dowell. So let's put it to the Blues fans. Dowell, is he a green tick or a red X? You know, is he a must sign or do we not? I'd be really intrigued to let the fan base decide that on the final opinion.
So welcome back to BCFC Royal Blue, and in this podcast, myself and Matt are going to be talking about the loan players that have come to Birmingham City in the 24-25 season. We're going to talk about each one individually and give our thoughts on their overall performance this season for the Blues, and whether or not we think we should go out and buy them on a permanent basis. Although 2 of the 5 that we're going to talk about have already secured contracts. So we are going to, even though we've signed them, we are going to talk about Taylor Gardner-Hickman, who came initially on a loan for the whole season, and also Alfons Sampsted, who is also now signed permanently. But we're also going to focus on Ben Davies, Kieran Dowell, and Luke Harris. Go through them one at a time, Matt, and get your thoughts on them, and maybe give a few stats, and then I want, after each one, your thoughts on whether we think we should sign them if we haven't done so already.
Let's do it.
So we'll go from the top. We'll start off with Ben Davies, central centre-back we got from Rangers on loan.
Well, if you watched our podcast from yesterday, Dad, and you asked me about our defining moment of the season, I mentioned Exeter away, and the main reason being because Ben Davies went left side of centre-back while Clara went to the right side of centre-back. And I think, personal opinion, I think Ben Davies has been absolutely sensational. I love him. I think he's a no-nonsense centre-half. He's left-footed, and I like the balance that gives you in the centre-backs. I really, really big fan of Ben Davies, Dad. I would really like to sign him if the price is right, but I think there might be a sticking point with the wages, in my opinion, because I think Rangers, a big club, they pay pretty good salaries. But I think if the price is right, salary is right, I'd like to bring Ben Davies in. I think he's got a couple of more good seasons in him in the Championship level. Of course, we have Neumann signing as well, so we are going to have some tough competition in that centre-half space. Ben Davies, though, for me, Dad, he's a sign if the price is right.
Yeah, he's proven it, hasn't he? He's proved what he's done this season and what a difference it made when he came in. We were, prior to that, leaking goals at the back, but he gave us that balance at centre-half because he's left-footed and he's a solid, experienced player. Just to show you, give you some stats about what he's done for us this season. So he's been in the squad 40 times. In the starting 11, 32, this is in the league, starting 11, 32 times, has been substituted in 3 and been on the bench 5, so he's basically played the vast majority of games.
Yeah. For me, I guarantee the main bulk of that, Dad, was Exeter and beyond, because at the start of the season, we were sort of tinkering around. Bielek was at the back quite a lot, and we had quite a bit of rotation. I bet Ben Davies, from the Exeter game, pretty much has played most of the games this season.
Yeah, he did play 90 minutes 4 times before the Exeter game. So we had the Shrewsbury game, which we lost. He was on the bench, and he wasn't in the squad in the Northampton game, which we drew. But prior to that, so the Exeter game was
patronising, though, isn't there?
Yeah, but then he played, before the Northampton draw, he played 90 minutes against Mansfield, which we drew 1-1. He played 90 minutes against Bolton at home, which we won 2-0. And he played 90 minutes against Lincoln, which we won 3-1 away. But prior to that, he was on the bench or was getting minimal minutes. He has established himself in the squad now.
Absolutely.
I don't think wages will be a problem for us for any player in this league. I think if the player's right, I think the club will do what they can to get them. Again, this is only rumours and speculation, but I'd heard rumours that if we were to buy both Dowell and Ben Davies, it's going to be a combined fee of around about 3.5 million for the 2 of them. I don't know that. I mean, that's just what I've read from a few what I think of decent sources from social media. I definitely think that I would love to see him.
If you break that down to 1.75 million a player, I don't think that's bad value.
No,
I think that's a decent deal. I'd use the word decent. I don't think you getting robbed there. I think 3.5 million for those 2 players, considering they're both Championship experienced players, isn't a bad price.
That's if it is 3.5.
Yeah,
because I say we have to stress that we're only reading the same as you guys are out there on social media and on the news. So, but that's what I've read in a few sources saying that. So, but the other thing as well, Rangers have got the issues in terms of appointing a new manager. I think there might be some ownership changes there as well, and what they do with these players. But Ben Davies has got 12 months left on his contract.
Yep. And so's Dowell.
Yep. So therefore, if the club want any money for these players, they're going to have to sell them now.
Yeah.
Because if they keep them, then clearly
there's always stuff going on at Rangers, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
There's always a club that something's going on. Bizarre, isn't it? But anyway,
turned out to be our feeder club this
but coming back to the initial point, Dad, I would take Ben Davies at Birmingham City next season.
I think I would as well, definitely.
Yeah.
I know that some fans think we need to go for higher better quality players, but he's proven what a quality player is, in my opinion.
And his time at Preston, Dad, proved what he can do in the Championship as well. I know it was a couple of years ago. I know he's, is he 30 now? 31 now?
29.
29 now.
Yeah.
Okay, so, he's definitely got 5 years left in him.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I think he could be worth a punt. And he said he knows Chris Davies, he knows the club. Let's not, pretend that's not valuable as well. He knows the club now. He's got that year experience with us. So I think he's a good player. I love the left foot, gives us the stability. He's no nonsense. He gets stuck in. Like him. It's green tick for me.
Yeah, me too. Love to know your opinion. Let us know whether you think we should try and get Ben Davies on a permanent contract. Next, I'm just going to go through the order I've got them. Yeah. So next I've got TGH, Taylor Gardner-Hickman. Now we know that Taylor Gardner-Hickman has or will officially become permanent. I think it's on the 1st of June or the 1st of July. There's a date. So he's been on loan all season, but now we've made that, or we've decided to take the option to make that permanent. What's your thoughts on him?
I'll keep this one short and sweet, Dad. I love him.
Yeah.
I think he's great. He's versatile. Left back, right back, centre mid, bar. He doesn't matter. You stick him anywhere. He's working, and he's incredible. I think he's worked hard. He's earned his contract, and I think he's worth signing. In all seriousness, just for his versatility alone. Yeah. Because if we do hit a bad run of injuries, and it can happen in a season, we have someone very reliable in not far off most positions on the pitch. Yeah. I liked him at right back when he came in that cover when Laird was injured at the start of the season. I thought he did really well. My personal preference is I like him in the centre mid to getting stuck in as a breakup kind of player. In my personal opinion, really happy he's signed. I love TGH and I can't wait to see what he does for us in the Championship.
Yeah, I can't really add much to that, really. I mean, the only thing, I don't like him on the wings. I prefer central midfield or right back.
I would agree with that, Dad.
But you're right, we have got that flexibility. I like his energy as well, and he's got a bit of bite about him as well. I really like that. He's got a bit of attitude about him, and you do need that in a really good quality player. Give you some stats about Taylor Gardner-Hickman. He's been in the squad 36 times, starting 11. This is the league. This is just the league, okay? Starting 11, 22 times, substituted off the bench 11 times, and on the bench 3 times. So he's clearly been
regular.
But don't forget, that's been peppered with a few little spells of injury. Yeah. He was injured from November through till just after Christmas for about 5 or 6 games. But he's a very he's that type of ideal player you want, that utility player that, like you mentioned, Matt. If you're in the middle of a game and either player gets injured, it'd be a bit better in the Championship now because we'll be able to have 9 subs. In League One, I don't want to get this now, but I don't get 7 subs. I don't get it. But now we've got 9 subs. It is going to make it.
Only 6.
No, it was 7. It was 7 in League One. It'd be 9 in the Championship.
It's only 2, but it makes a massive difference.
It makes a massive difference because you depending on your opposition, you might want a certain position to be covered in a greater detail and stuff like that.
I actually think that sub thing has shot Yokoyama in the foot at the start of the season. I think he would have made the bench a lot more if he had a few more spaces there. But anyway, again, whole new conversation for a whole new time, Dad.
But we've signed him anyway,
and I'm glad we have.
And I'm pleased. I think most Blues fans will agree that he's a young player as well, isn't he? So how old is he? Let me just have a quick look at.
I'm going to guess 22.
23, so he's not far off. So he's now or will become a permanent Birmingham City player from kind of 1st of June or 1st of July.
Probably the 1st of July because that's when the transfer window opens. So, but I could be wrong. But anyway, he will be a Birmingham City player next season.
He will, and I think we're really pleased about that.
Same.
Next one, Matt, is Alfons Sampsted. What's your thoughts on him?
He's slowly grown on me as the season's gone on, and I really like him. He seems like such a nice bloke as well. Like when
his personality is brilliant.
His personality is great.
When he got substituted against Peterborough, do you remember away?
He was coming around cheering the crowd on.
I think he went off the pitch on purpose.
I think he did,
so we could walk past the Blues fans. He was like this, wasn't he?
Yeah, because we were singing "The Blues Are Going Up," the Pump Me Up song, and he was just doing that. And he was rallying us.
I love his attitude as well.
And I think he's actually a dark horse, Dad. I think he's going to be a great player moving forward. I think he's a good right back. I think he's solid. He gets stuck in. I think when he's been called upon, he's always done good. You can't really knock him. He's had a couple of off games, mate. I think he came on against Charlton away from memory and was a bit underwhelming. But everyone, when you come off on the bench, sometimes you adapt into the tempo of the game, aren't you, and stuff. So I think it's difficult sometimes to make massive amounts of impact when you're a right back coming off the bench. I mean, I was a left back, and I know it's difficult sometimes to make impact in a game when you come in as a fullback. But I like him. I like, his aggression. He can play a ball as well. Do you remember the goal against Wrexham at home, Dad? Was it Wrexham? No. I think it was the game before Charlton, Huddersfield, I think it was actually. He played a lovely ball round the back, and then Alfie May pinged it, squared it for Jay Stansford. I think it was when we beat Huddersfield 1-0. Lovely ball from Sampsted. It might have been a goal in the Wrexham game, but either way, he's got a pass in him, he's got a tackle in him. I like him, and I'm glad we've signed him as well.
Yeah, I found him a bit of a strange. I mean, he gets the vote for me for having the most stupid clause in a loan agreement. But, basically, the clause was that if Blues don't get relegated, he becomes permanent.
Yeah.
What? Who came up with that? I mean, that's a mode. I find it strange for me. I agree with everything you said about him, by the way. That he's not let us down when he's come on.
Yeah.
He's got better as the season's gone on. But based upon his game time, he wasn't in the squad for a lot of games, and I found it surprised that we had that clause, because I wonder if that clause, as stupid as it wasn't in the contract, would we have actually signed it?
It's a good point, isn't it?
Because,
but Chris Davies has come out and said that he will definitely play a part next season because he likes him. He's always there. He's always active.
Don't get me wrong, Matt. I do like him. I do like him.
No, but the reason we're saying that, though, is Chris Davies even likes him.
Yeah.
Like his attitude. He always turns up. He always gives his all. And I think
Yeah.
that's always appreciated, isn't it? From a manager's point of view.
And I think he has been a victim of the 7 substitutes as well, because he's not been in the squad a load. So basically, he's been in the squad 21 times. He's only been in the starting 11 in the league 4 times. In the starting 11, he came on as a substitute 13 times. He's been on the bench 4 times, and that's what surprised me about the permanency of the loan deal. Now we have got him; he is our player. That's what the loan deal is, and I hopefully think we'll see the best of him next season. But he's in a position where there's a lot of competition.
I know that is the problem.
Yeah, so you've got Laird, Taylor Gardner-Hickman, Bielek can play right back.
Yeah.
But then you think to yourself, well, okay, that's fine. But if he's that good, wouldn't he be more competitive?
It's a good point, yeah.
But
he can play left back as well, and we are lacking left back cover, so he could be a safety option on the left if we have when we get 9 subs next season, So there are those little things as well. But I think that if you asked me this question in December, January, I might have had a different answer on Sampsted. But then I think because he's got a little bit better as the season's gone on, and I've really liked what I've saw, in this sort of latter couple of weeks and months of the season, he's really kind of come on for me in these last few games of the season. So for me, I like what I've seen over the last month or two. But I think over the course of the season, it's been difficult because he's been on the bench, hasn't he? Oh, not even featuring in some squad days. So, yeah, I mean, overall, though, Dad, I think from what I've seen, I like him. He gets stuck in. He gives his all. He clearly gives his... It gives a good impression to Chris Davies. And I think it's important to have professionals in the team who carry themselves in that way. It inspires everyone else to do the same as well, doesn't it? And I think from what Chris Davies was saying, he's that kind of player, the professional side of the game.
Yeah, and we need strength in depth to be a successful team, and you can only pick 11 players to start. So some players are going to have to accept they're going to get less game time. A little bit like Alfie May, he would have, in other team Alfie May would have expected playing every game in any other team, but because of the strength of our squad, Alfie's had to adapt a little bit, and he's going to have to come off the bench, and that's what you need. So players like Alfons Sampsted as a backup will try and push themselves to be first choice. But he's in a position where he's got, obviously, I mean, Ethan Laird is clearly the first choice right back.
It's his to lose,
without doubt.
Yeah, it is.
Without doubt, but there is competition in there. Okay, just to make it clear as well, we're talking about the loan players. We do know that there are a few short-term loans that we had, like Myung-Jae Lee and Grant Hanley. They're not loan players, so we're not really... We might have a very quick comment at the end of the podcast on that, but we'll just talk about the loan players. And the next one, Matt, is Kieran Dowell.
Yeah. I think I made a comment about Kieran Dowell in a podcast last week, Dad. We were talking about, I can't remember what we were talking about, to be honest, but we were talking about something where Dowell came up. And I think he's made a big difference since he came in. Creatively, I like him in the 10 more than I like him out on the right.
Oh, without a doubt.
He's a different player in the 10, in my opinion. And I don't like Williamson out on the right. So, like, for me, it's either Dowell or Williamson in the 10.
Absolutely.
For me, personally, on this topic and conversation. So, since he's came in, I've liked him. I think he's a good player. But I think I said this, again, apologies if I'm repeating myself, but I think we could get someone better in the summer for the Championship. And I think the number 10, left wing and right wing, those 3 attacking positions in the 4-2-3-1 that Chris Davies like, are going to be so key this season in the Championship to unlocking teams. I would like to maybe see Dowell, if he was willing to to come to the club on a second string. I know everyone hates that basis, but to fight for his position, so to come in and almost be a backup, I wouldn't mind him in that position, in that context. But for me, I think we can get a stronger number 10, in my opinion. So I like him. I thank him for coming in January. I think he's been good, but I think we can get someone better. I possibly wouldn't sign Dowell unless he's happy to come in on the backup.
Okay, right. Okay, I couldn't disagree anymore. I really like Dowell. Really like him.
He can disappear in games though.
Well, so can any other player, to be
Yeah,
honest.
but you can't in the number 10.
Well, you can't in any position really. I mean, every position is important for different key reasons. I do get that the number 10 position is a really crucial position.
it's
I
so key.
totally get that. But for me, I really like him. I think he's got ability. He can see a pass. Yeah. I suppose in that number 10 position as well, you are vulnerable because you will get tackled a lot in that position because the ball goes through that position a lot. So actually, where it might appear that he's sometimes losing the ball, and that could be just for the fact that he's actually going to get into, it's a dangerous position, isn't it? I think I would do anything to, for the club.
Really?
We should go all out to sign him. In my opinion, I know other Blues fans will agree with you, and I get that, but this is just my personal opinion.
No, of course,
I really like Dowell, and I just think he's got that quality that we've lacked in the team in that position for a long, long time. I do agree also with you completely that you can't put him on the right, Dowell, and you can't put Williamson on the right. Those two are number 10s, both of them. But for me, we should go all out and sign this guy. I mean, some of the stuff he does, I like his little flicks as well.
Yeah,
he can make things happen. And I've seen a couple of games where he's laid balls on or he's put players through, and the link up he's got is really, really strong in my opinion. Yeah, he's not perfect. He's made mistakes, but you show me a player that hasn't. Just a few stats to let you know how important he came in January. Don't forget.
Yeah.
He's been in the squad 20 times, starting 11, 17. So he's clearly a Chris Davies favourite. Substitutes came on in 2, and he's only been on the bench once. So basically, he's virtually played every game that he's been on. So and he scored goals as well.
Have you got the stats of when he's been a 10 and when he's been on the right?
I have. He's actually quite a lot. I mean, well, it depends on how this is categorised. They categorise it as right wing or attacking midfield. It's a bit mixed, really.
Okay. Because I'd say it's been pretty split. So I'd say it's been maybe a little bit more on the right than in the number 10. A little bit more, but you are correct in that. It is showing that as well. But just some of the goals, he's probably scored one of my favourite team goals against Cambridge, which was absolutely brilliant. That was his first goal for the club. He scored against Lincoln at home in the league, and he scored the game after against Stevenage at home. He got an assist against Shrewsbury, an assist against Bristol Rovers. He scored against Barnsley, an assist against Burton, scored against Mansfield, an assist against Mansfield. So he's productive. I mean, that's only half a season's stats. I mean, I know, and I understand this, Blues fans. We read social media, and we know that some fans have got a similar opinion to Matt. And obviously, we've got different views on this. So let us know your opinion. And football's all about opinion. I've heard that somewhere before, haven't I? And we'd love to know yours. It's a debate. It's your opinion. It's not right or wrong. What do you think about Kieran Dowell? Let us know in the comments below. I mean, even if you wanted to sign him, Dad, I think, what do you say? Whatever it takes to get him, that to me is a wild exaggeration. He's not that good.
I don't think so.
I think you got to remember as well, the Championship's a big step up from League One. And I think, when you look at like Jack Rodoni at Coventry and a couple of other number 10s of the top 6 teams, I don't think Dowell's anywhere near him. But anyway, in my opinion,
I do.
I
do.
There we go.
I really do. Okay, Matt. So this is the last loan player.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's Luke Harris.
Yeah. So before we get into this, Dad, I want to state I think Luke Harris has a big future in football. I think he's a good player. I think when he hits his stride, I think he's going to be a decent, solid Championship player. I just don't think he's there quite yet.
He's only 20.
Exactly,
yeah.
And exactly that. He's a young player.
Yeah.
He's clearly got bags of potential, but it just clearly it's had moments of not really clicking from at Blues this season. But I will say he's got better as the season's gone on. I think this last month or two, he's contributed with a couple of goals. He's came off on the bench, and even Dad, in certain games towards the end of the season where we did our pre-match, I plumped for him to play on the right or in the 10. I actually said that he should have a start off the back of him coming off and actually making an impact in the game. And I think that's what football's about. If you come in off the bench and you make an impact, you should get your position on the pitch. Clearly, Chris Davies saw it different. He's the manager, so I think Luke Harris has had a stronger end to the season. But for me, overall, as an overarching statement, it hasn't quite worked out for him at Blues, I don't think. I think he got off to a slow start. Chris Davies, I think, had quite a loyalty to him at the start of the season. He picked him quite a lot. I think he, again, needed to have more impact in games. I think he's got a big future ahead of him, but not at Blues, and I wouldn't sign Luke Harris, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think as a League One loan player, it's a good option to bring in a Premier League young lad like that to give him some games. I agree with everything you've said, and stats wise, he's been in the squad 35 times, but only in the starting 11 10 times. He came in as a sub 19 times, on the bench 6. So he's had some game time, and he's had some games. I mean, we were there at Wickham when he scored his goal right at the start of the
Great
season.
memory.
Yeah,
Great memory.
Yeah, he was injured from sort of October through to for most of September, October. He missed about 8 games through injury, and then he only sort of played a bit part. So if you look at his stats and the amount of game time he's getting in any game, it's very rare has he got anywhere. He's mainly probably an average of about 20 minutes if you average everything out. So he's been brought on as a sub to make an impact in games. He's a young lad though, and like you say, you can clearly see there's a good player in there.
No doubt.
He's fast, and he will be a good player, but he needs a few more years of experience. And I think he probably needs some more loans for other clubs to make him into the player that he should be. One thing I would question about the club now is what we do with our own young players, because there's an argument to say, why are you bringing Luke Harris in, who's a 20-year-old, and then loaning out Romel Donovan?
Yeah.
Why not just give Romel Donovan a chance?
Doesn't want to be there, does he?
Well, I don't know, and there might be reasons like that.
Exactly.
I'm only asking the question.
And that it's a very valid point, because we've just had that wonderful announcement with the youth system and the training. What's the official title?
Category 1.
Category 1. So
the academy.
The academy, exactly. So if we want to be encouraging our young talent and getting the next Jude Bellingham, you need to be encouraging your players to have game time. So I completely agree with you, and that was one of my biggest frustrations, Dad, when Luke Harris was getting game time early in the season. Our fully contracted players were on the bench, and he wasn't having impact. That was my biggest frustration at the start of the season.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you, Dad. I think you have to be playing your own talent over your loan players and developing them and encouraging them to get first-team football. Even if it's just match day experience, being with the team, being with the squad, it's key.
Yeah. And just to finish off Luke Harris for me, Matt, thank you for what you've done this season, definitely, and good luck in the future. But I agree. I don't think it's right to sign him at this point in time. I think he needs more development and more game time, because he was on loan at Exeter the season before. So give him a few more seasons playing loan football, get him a bit older, a bit stronger, a bit more mature, and I think there's going to be a really, really good player there.
I agree. A couple of years, Dad, I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the Championship.
No,
if he keeps developing the way we know he can.
And he seems like a really nice lad as well.
There's a player in there, Luke Harris. He's a good player. He's definitely got ability. Just for me, not a Blues at the moment.
Okay, so that's our loan player. But again, just to very, very quickly talk about the short-term.
Myung Jae Lee and Grant Hanley.
Yeah, so let's start with Myung Jae Lee.
Well, what do we say? We've only seen him twice, and we all thought, the internal joke was he's having a pre-season because the J League had finished, hadn't it? So he came over and was having a pre-season. And we were like, well, when's this pre-season going to end? Because we haven't seen him. So we only saw him. Was it 3 games to the end? Was it the third last game?
Much,
I think we saw him against Stevenage away, didn't we?
Yeah.
He started, and we saw him come off on the bench from the game before that. And I think he looked okay.
Yeah.
It's hard to give an opinion after 2 games. I mean, I think if we're going to be honest, he was brought in for coverage for Cochrane. I haven't seen enough to form an opinion. I would say, being a Championship club now, we're going to get a beast of a left back coming in again.
Well, we've got Buchanan that will come back.
Yes,
but I don't know how far he is away. Obviously, Cochrane is the main first choice, has been all season. I think Cochrane will give if Lee Buchanan can stay fit. I think that'll be a good battle for that position between the two of them, because they're both good players.
They are.
But maybe we need another one as well. I don't know. Like you said, it's really hard, isn't it? Because we've not really seen enough of him to make that opinion.
Exactly.
And will they take a punt on him, or will the Blues, will they say, well, you know what, we need to look sort of beyond that now? I don't know. It's a difficult one, isn't it? He only came on a short-term contract, and that contract will finish, so he won't be.
But
him
Dad, from what I saw, though, he looked okay.
Yeah.
He looked okay, and it's hard to.
Chris Davies will know, because they would have seen him a lot more in training. So he will decide, I presume, based upon what he's seen in training more than what he's seen on the pitch. And Grant Hanley,
I think in the Championship, Grant Hanley's not going to quite cut the mark anymore. I think he's shown a few times this season the legs. We speak about Yuki, Dad, in recent years, saying how much energy has Yuki got left in the legs. I think if you think about the faster pace in the Championship and the quality of strikers in the Championship, I think Grant Hanley is really good at reading a game, and his physicality and his experience. There's no doubt in certain games this season that he's really showed his experience, Grant Hanley, and I think he's a good player. But he was clearly there for some short-term coverage to get us to the end of the season. For me, again, I thank him. I like Grant Hanley. He's not a signing for me.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. It's a shame we didn't get him a couple of seasons ago because he's obviously a quality player. He's very experienced, and I always like it when he comes on because Chris Davies has tended to bring him on a lot when we are winning a game, just to see the game out. Really, obviously, I think that what really made it clear to me was the goal we conceded against Cambridge.
Yes.
It shows you can't do that in the Championship, and you need to have. I know we got Neumann coming in, who's very pacey apparently, and obviously got Clara. Hopefully, if we do sign Ben Davies, we'll have good cover in that area. I agree with you. I think that thank you for the season. Since you came in January. But for me, he's not one to take forward into the Championship, I don't think.
Agreed.
But wish him best if he goes on to another club. Or, he's getting to that stage of his career where he'd just like maybe Yuki got to where, well, do I have another season or whatever? But I'm sure somebody will take him if he wants another season. But
So, Dad, from all the loan players so far, we agree on all of them apart from Dowell. So let's put it to the Blues fans. Dowell, is he a green tick or a red X? Is he a must sign or do we not? I'd be really intrigued to let the fan base decide that on the final opinion.
That's a good. Let's have a poll in the comments about your thoughts on Kieran Dowell. I mean, please comment as well on the other players, what you think on them as well. But Dowell seems to be the one that's divided me and Matt. And maybe is that reflective of the Blues fan base? Do some want him, do some not? Let us know in the comments below. As always, I hope you liked the podcast, and if you did, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't checked us out on our social media channels already, then pop along to our X page and our Instagram page. And if you like to watch or listen to your podcasts on Spotify, you'll also find us on there. And you'll see the handles appearing for all these channels on the screen right now. If you haven't subscribed to the channel you'd like to, and there's no obligation to subscribe if you don't want to, but if you would like to get notifications of when we put new podcasts out, hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon next to it for your notifications. As always, we really hope you've enjoyed this podcast, and myself and Matt will see you on the next one, all about Birmingham City.